Deep in the heart of a magical forest, where the trees whispered secrets and the rivers hummed ancient tunes, lived a boy named Leo and his best friend, a monster named Gus. No, Gus wasn't a scary monster. He was enormous and furry, with soft, gentle eyes and a heart as big as his belly. Leo was small and quick, with a mind full of curiosity and a spirit full of adventure. Their home, this enchanted forest, was kept alive by the warm, gentle light of a giant crystal flower that stood at its very center. Its petals shimmered with all the colors of the rainbow, and its glow made the whole forest feel safe and magical. One sunny morning, as Leo and Gus were playing their favorite game of hide-and-seek among the giant mushrooms, Leo noticed something was wrong. The air felt a little cooler, and the usual bright colors of the forest seemed dull. He looked towards the center of the woods and saw it. The magnificent crystal flower, which usually pulsed with brilliant light, was barely glowing. Its light was weak, flickering like a candle in the wind. Gus noticed it too. A shadow of worry crossed his big, friendly face. As the flower's light faded, the magic of the forest began to fade with it. The giggling streams became quiet, and the sparkling fireflies hid away. The world they loved was growing dark and sad. They knew they had to do something. They hurried to the oldest and wisest tree in the forest, a great oak whose bark was carved with stories of old. As they approached, a soft, whispery voice echoed from its leaves. The old oak told them that the crystal flower needed a special kind of magic to be restored, the magic of glimmer berries. These weren't just any berries, they were rare, glowing fruits that held the pure light of friendship and courage. To save their home, Leo and Gus would need to find 3 of them. The oak explained that the berries were hidden in the most challenging parts of the forest, and their journey would test their bravery and, most importantly, their bond. With a new sense of purpose, Leo looked at Gus, a determined glint in his eye. Gus nodded back, his big paw resting reassuringly on Leo's shoulder. Their great adventure had just begun. Their first challenge was the Giggling Gorge, a wide chasm that could only be crossed by a bridge made of pure sound. The bridge would only appear if it heard the happiest, most genuine laughter. Leo tried first, letting out a big, hearty laugh. A few shimmering planks appeared, but they were wobbly and incomplete. Gus tried next, his deep, rumbling chuckle echoing through the gorge. More planks formed, but the bridge was still too short to cross. They looked at each other, and then a silly idea popped into Leo's head. He started telling Gus the funniest monster joke he knew, something about a 3-eyed monster who couldn't decide which eye to wink with. Gus started to chuckle, then roar with laughter, and Leo couldn't help but join in. Their combined laughter, a mix of high-pitched giggles and deep, rumbling joy, filled the air. Instantly, a solid, sparkling bridge of golden light stretched across the entire gorge. On the other side, nestled in a patch of glowing moss, was the first glimmerberry. They carefully picked it, its light warming their hands. Next, their path led them into the Whispering Woods. This was a tricky place. The trees grew so close together that they formed a maze, and their leaves rustled with confusing whispers, trying to lead travelers astray. Leo, being small, couldn't see over the tall trees, and Gus, being so large, couldn't fit through the narrow paths. They were stuck. Gus sat down with a frustrated sigh, which accidentally knocked over a small, dead tree. That's when Leo had a brilliant idea. "Gus," he shouted, "you're strong enough to clear a path, and I can climb on your shoulders to see where we need to go." Gus's eyes lit up. With a new plan, they set off. Gus carefully pushed aside tangled vines and fallen logs, creating a wide path. Leo stood tall on Gus's furry shoulders, acting as his navigator. A little to the left, "Gus, watch out for that thorny bush. I see a clearing ahead. He would call out. With Leo's bird's eye view and Gus's incredible strength, they navigated the confusing maze with ease. In the center of the clearing, perched on a branch, was the second glimmerberry, shining like a tiny star. One more to go. Their final challenge was the murky marsh, home to the grumpy swamp blobs. These creatures were round, squishy, and loved their peace and quiet. They absolutely hated loud noises and would splash anyone who disturbed them with sticky mud. The third and final glimmerberry was on a small island right in the middle of the marsh. Leo and Gus knew they had to be silent. Leo came up with a plan. He taught Gus how to walk on his tiptoes, which was quite a funny sight for such a big monster. They moved as slowly and quietly as they could. Leo went first, his small feet barely making a sound. Gus followed, concentrating hard, placing each of his huge paws down with extreme care. At one point, a swamp blob opened one sleepy eye, and they both froze, holding their breath. The blob grumbled, rolled over, and went back to sleep. With hearts pounding, they finally reached the island. There it was, the third glimmerberry, glowing with a soft, blue light. They snatched it and tiptoed back just as carefully. They had all three. With the three precious glimmerberries safely in their possession, Leo and Gus raced back towards the heart of the forest. The journey back felt much quicker, their spirits lifted by their success. As they ran, they could see the forest was even darker than before. The crystal flower's light was now just a tiny, faint spark. But they weren't scared anymore. They had faced every challenge together and knew what they had to do. They burst into the central clearing, their little and large feet pounding on the soft earth. They stood before the giant flower, its beautiful petals drooped and colorless. It looked so sad, so tired. This was the moment of truth. Without a word, they knelt at the base of the massive stem. Leo took the first glimmerberry, the one from the giggling gorge, and placed it gently among the roots. Gus placed the second from the whispering woods right beside it. Together, they placed the final berry from the murky marsh. For a second, nothing happened. Then, a soft hum began to resonate from the ground. The three berries started to glow intensely, their combined light flowing like liquid gold into the roots of the crystal flower. A wave of energy pulsed through the giant stem, and the petals began to tremble. Slowly, they began to rise, and color flooded back into them vibrant pinks, deep purples, and brilliant yellows. The flower's light exploded outwards, stronger and brighter than ever before, bathing the entire forest in a warm, magical glow. The rivers started singing again, the fireflies danced in the air, and the trees rustled with happy sighs. The magic was back. Leo and Gus looked at each other and burst into a joyful cheer. They hugged, a small boy and a giant monster, celebrating their victory. They have faced darkness and danger, but their friendship was the strongest magic of all, and it had saved their home. Thank you so much for watching our story today. If you enjoyed Leo and Gus's adventure, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more magical tales. See you next time!